Hi everybody, my name's Lee Honish. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. This week we recorded for 3 hours this Sunday morning, and we've decided it's so much content that we could give you one very long episode that you can listen to off and on all week. But there's basically like 3 different sections of the show. So this is our Triple G Canelo trilogy fanboy moment, because there's a lot of stories about that, and it's mostly about Canelo like losing his shit and Triple G poking the bear. So we've decided to give you 3 episodes this week. We'll parse them out all week long. So the first thing I want to tell you, this first episode is about a quote that Canelo made that actually, I think he told TV Boxeo. He said, Triple G is a fucking asshole and I hate him, or something roughly to that effect. But you'll see it in the title or the description or whatever it is. Then in the second part, there is a whole clenbuterol rant that goes on for way too long and awkwardly, which kind of leads to the title of Eddy Reynoso should smell, and I don't know how Andrew got here. The second part is Eddy Reynoso should smell Canelo'S shit, which was hilarious. And then in the third part, King Rai, who fought this past weekend, is a prospect, which might be the greatest Andrew Slam of all time. So those are your 3 parts. I'll put them out probably. You get this one, which covers Monday. Usually we try to get them out by Monday morning. So you'll have this one on Monday. I'll turn around and probably do the next one on Tuesday and the following one on Wednesday. Please share these. Please let other people know. If you want to go actually watch the video of me working with the boys and trying to put this together, you can go see it. This is going to be the same intro on the beginning of each one of these 3, but look in the title and make sure you got the right one. There will be part 1, part 2, part 3. Enjoy the trilogy of Canelo and Triple G, and we will see you guys next Sunday. Broner Figueroa. Wow. Gutierrez Garcia. Puello. Fuck all that triple header shit. All right, Adrian Broner's back in the ring. He's fighting Omar Figueroa Jr. in what we like to call around here an old yeller match. Somebody's going to be taken out back and shot in the back of the head in this particular fight. So let's talk about it briefly, because we didn't talk about it last week. Miguel, who is getting shot in the back of the head at the end of the fight?
Jesus.
Well,
by the way, I could see that as
neither.
The title of the show too, with guns at the back of Omar and Adrian, like blindfolded and like sitting there with Al Heyman holding a shotgun to one of their heads. Like, that's a great visual. I like that title.
Who's being taken out back?
The old yeller match. One person will be leaving boxing after this fight.
For the sake of Fight Net Radio, I hope it's not Broner that leaves, because we want some more headlines. We want some more headlines of his. But I have to suspect that it's Omar Figueroa that's going to be the one that's taking the hike. I think his last fight was Ugas. I think it was. I don't remember specifically, but it didn't look very well. It looked like he was. I mean, this dude wasn't looking half bad when he was at lightweight, but now he's. Several years later, of course, but it seemed like he just moved up and way too fast. And him, just like his brother, they take an ass whooping in the ring. Yeah, sometimes they'll come out ahead, but it's just these guys are young. These guys, shouldn't be taking the ass whoopings that they do take in the ring. Even coming out with the victory, they take an ass whooping. Man, their faces are fucked up afterwards. Both Figueroa brothers. So I didn't expect either one of their careers to be lasting very long. And from what we can tell here, it looks like Figueroa, Omar, I should say, is going to be the one that's going to be taking the hike after this fight here. Because at least that's what we hope. He's taking too many ass whoopings. At the very least, Broner has good defense. Even if he doesn't counter and even if he doesn't throw enough punches in every round, he at least gets out of the way of some fucking shots, and he does. He knows how to clinch. He knows how to preserve himself to some degree in the ring. Omar and his brother, for that matter, seem to just not have a goddamn clue.
Well, so he's got that chin bumper for sure.
Yeah, but you don't want to. You don't want to be known as the guy. Oh yeah, he could take an ass whooping. It's like, you don't want to be known as the guy that takes an ass whooping. It's like you want to get out of the fucking way of the punches.
Yeah.
So
again, we're going back to the Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano took some massive ass whippings.
Yeah.
But he just, people got tired beating on him, and then he'd knock him out. That's not Broner.
Right. Broner doesn't have that kind of pop, but
he does not have Homer Simpson head. You can stop Broner. That's not a big project.
Right.
I mean, when he finally stepped up. Andrew, who's getting a bullet in the back of the head at the end of the old Yeller match?
Yeah, look, if Figueroa loses this fight, this is going to be his third consecutive loss in a row. Yeah, I think that would be it for him, at least on the big stage. Broner, as long as he's not embarrassed, I think there will always be a spot for him on a roster. Unfortunately, he sells tickets. He's sort of like a Gabe Rosado. He'll turn into a Gabe Rosado.
Take him
guy
off his
can have
medication
like
and let him on the streets in New York. He'll do something stupid, and you can book your next fight. He's fantastic.
Yeah, so I got to think that it's heavier on Figueroa's side that if he loses this fight, Al Heyman will not be calling him back for a main event or a co-main event anytime soon.
All right, I'm going to just put this out there, Andrew. I'm going to put this out there. By the time Junior gets to that point in his career, Broner will still be around. You know, he'll be one of those crazy people who stays too long. Debut match, Junior Broner. Junior Broner, debut match. Just putting it out there right now.
I hear you.
I'm going to start promoting it right now. Find that radio, your promotional arm for Junior. Hilarious.
Not yet.
What would he be by then? He'd be like, what, 50 or 60? Like, oh my gosh.
It's almost perfect.
Oh, it's almost perfect. It's perfect. Junior, kill him. Kill him. What, Uncle Lee? Kill him. I need you to physically go in there and pull a Deontay Wilder. What are you talking about? Deontay always talked about killing people, kid. Just go out there and knock him out so that he doesn't come back. Okay. Oh my God, I could actually see that conversation in the corner. By the way, I am a registered California Cut man. Just putting it out there. I'm ready to go to work, Coach. Put me in. God, I hate Broner. He's just so fantastic to make fun of. Additional charges filed against former interim titleist Jesus Rojas. He remains jailed. Oh, all right. Do we have more to follow up from our previous story? He was previously charged on June 24th with 2 counts of violating Puerto Rico's Law 54 of abuse prevention intervention. The fact that they had to create that for domestic abuse in Puerto Rico, you backwards asshat country, after physically assaulting his partner, shoot him in the head. A deadly weapon in the presence of a minor. Really shoot him in the head.
Wow.
He was additionally charged with 4 counts of child abuse. Really shoot him in the back of the head. Again, I'm going to start a new Kickstarter. The Felix Verdejo thing didn't go over well. Maybe we can get one for Jesus Rojas. If you want, go ahead and send comments. I will start a Kickstarter for Jesus Rojas getting stabbed in the shower in Puerto Rico. I'm just putting it out there. I'll make the flight. I'll find somebody in jail. We'll put this dude down. I realize that makes me an accessory, but it is an outlawing. I don't know if I could be charged for that. Would it make me an accessory to murder?
Probably, especially when you're announcing it on radio.
Are they really part of the United States?
Territory, technically, U.S. territory, yes.
I'm going to have to talk to my attorney about this.
You're going to double check?
Should this man be shivved in a shower finally? I've lost Andrew.
Oh, did we lose him? Oh, I think his mic is muted.
Andrew mic moments.
There you go.
There you go.
Nice.
4 counts of child abuse, domestic, guns, chainsaw. Like, what the fuck is going on? Tell me that we shouldn't do a Kickstarter on this asshole and have him shivved in the shower. What's going on in Puerto Rico? Is there something in the water that makes men assholes? Like, I don't get it. Cotto doesn't seem like
I think we need that soundbite. If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
When you say those statements, you just hit the button and we move on. But seriously, Puerto Rico's at a real low right now. Did you see Ricky Martin was arrested?
Oh, hell no. What for?
No, for what?
Ricky Martin was arrested for having a relationship with his 21-year-old nephew. So he's being charged with incest and I don't know what else. But 50 years he's looking at. Ricky Martin,
that's just some inbreeding shit. That's just some wacky inbreeding.
Yeah, no. It's a very, very, very sad situation.
I don't know how I feel about that one. I'm not going to pay for him getting shivved in a shower. When you're talking child abuse and like beating women.
Well, I think the parents of the young man that he was doing that to are probably going to have that paid. Could you? Yeah, Lee, that's a bad one.
It's a bad one.
They're all bad.
Well, no, somebody asked me this week, Lee, you come up with creative and clever ideas. None of this is On one of the coaching calls I did this week for real estate, somebody asked me, Lee, what would you do about gun violence? Like, you work out all the angles. I said, oh, no, it's really simple. If I were president, I would sign one executive order. If your child, no matter the age, commits an act of terrorism or shoots up a school, the entire family's going to jail with you. Because they knew you were a piece of shit, too. They allowed it. I guarantee the first people who knew
pill to swallow. I do agree.
Yeah, that's kind of a
I do agree. Yeah, I do agree that I believe someone in the family knows, but I don't know if you could hold them accountable for someone else's actions.
Come on, if Junior does something crazy, I'm going to go back to, well, he was making a gun out of a bar of soap when he was in school. I mean, there were signs. There were signs, officer. I just didn't step in.
the ones that I don't like is when the evening news has HD cameras showing 4 individuals running from a jewelry store or robbery. You see their clothes. You see partially their face. You see what car they get into. Oh, they know. The parents that are watching this shit, they know that was their little boy.
They know. And you know what? You should go to jail with your kids.
That was their little angel.
Like, I can sleep easy at night that my daughter's not going to turn into a grifter and go con people out of money. There has been no indication of that. But if I watched her early on, like, she'd go to the market and, like, lift shit every time she left the place, I'm like, oh, there's a problem here. There's a real problem, and I got to get a therapist involved.
It's called parenting, Lee. And hopefully within the 18 years of her life, you're able to tell her not to steal and she would listen. What we're talking about is when your 17, 16-year-old child
dresses like a woman and shoots up a park full of people on July 4th and was going to make a second stop. Mom, you knew. Mom, you knew. I'm going to call his mom out. Look, I wouldn't shiv the kid. I'm not going to shiv that kid. He's fucked up. All right? Like, I've seen the tattoos in the photo. I'd shiv the mom. That's the person I'd hire to get shivved. You created a piece of shit, lady. Your kid's a piece of shit. He was driving your car.
Now, wait a minute, Lee. Wait a minute. What if you have, like myself, what if you have multiple children and only one kid that does bad and the rest are good?
All right,
come on, you can't be blaming the parents for everything.
In that case, it's going to be a majority decision.
Okay, I'm currently in a relationship.
The more of your kids are good than they are bad, so it's a majority decision. You're safe.
No, I'm going into a relationship with a bunch of stepkids, right? Like, and for the most part, most of them are fairly normal, right? Most of them.
You're going to bring them on the show.
There is one that is completely off the rails. Like threatens family members, shows up unannounced at doors. Like, he could be in the bed next to you when you wake up and she was asking me, how would you handle that? I go, well, there's the Fight Net radio answer. She goes, what's that? You go for a long drive in the desert. You do.
Oh my God.
Sometimes, come on, we all watched Of Mice and Men. Sometimes you got to put them down. I'm just saying. And apparently in Puerto Rico,
I think
by the way,
Honish is back.
Everybody in Rojas's family, and I guarantee Rojas's dad was abusive to the whole family, and that's why he's a piece of shit. And probably his grandfather was an abusive piece of shit. That's how this shit starts. All of you guys, go to jail with him. The new rule, I am king. Off with their heads. Can we bring back public executions? Tommy Hearns would love to make Chocolatito versus Bam Rodriguez. Me too. I'm kind of okay with this. I've had a week or two to think about this. I'm kind of okay with this, Miguel.
Yeah, I sure hope so. I mean, that
it's not going to happen, but I would love to see it.
Well, I mean, Bam has already said that, he wants to leave that division for his brother. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't turn out that way, then yes, I would love to see it. But yeah, I mean, Hearn, and he said it, after the fight, after what's his name, Bam's last fight with Soren Rung, I can't pronounce his name, Soren Rungsai. All right.
Why am I the only one who can pronounce that dude's name?
Good question.
And I butcher everything else.
But he said it afterwards, right? He said, San Antonio, you guys have a star here, so I'm sure he's quite aware that he has a star in his hands. So I'm sure he would want to have a Chocolatito fight against Bam. And I mean, most of us would like to see it anyway. But I wouldn't mind seeing his brother fight him too. Fuck it, let's have everybody fight. But I think this is the way. This is the way to go. I don't think Bam has this kind of on his radar right now. But I would totally be down for this one because yes, please, more names in these weight classes, more attention, more spotlight in these weight classes because these are some great fights.
Yeah, Andrew, are you down with Bam versus Chocolatito? I don't think Chocolatito will take the fight. I think it's dangerous.
Yeah, no,
I think this is a super dangerous fight.
It's all about. They've all been dangerous. He's passed all of his tests. There's no reason to go backwards. Chocolito's on the way down. This kid is on the way up. If he is special, he will get past them. So, no, I like this. Eddie Hearn seems to be doing good with Rodriguez. I think Eddie really just got lucky on this one. He's setting up the matchups and the kid's winning. It's not about his guidance at all.
Call your local congressman and tell them, I want Chocolate versus Bam. I don't even know where you could call. Like, we should have an 800 number where people can call and, like, demand fights. Like, it's not going to make a difference if I gave you Tommy Hearns and everybody's phone number. They don't care. They don't care what you think.
That would be cool, though. Like, hearing, like, people's, like, reasonings for why certain fights would happen. It's like, okay, maybe it's as a point of view that, we didn't know or we didn't realize before, or it could be something completely off the wall that doesn't make any fucking sense. But it'll be fun.
Sure. I want to see Jake Paul fight Rocky Marciano. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Shit, we can do that on a computer. We can make that happen. Derek Chisora ends his losing streak. Last weekend, he defeated Kubrat Pulev, the guy who I saved the career of with one video. You're welcome, Pulev. It's still the number one video.
Literally.
Oh, literally. Like, we're never going to get that many millions. Like, we literally shut down an entire legal campaign with that one video. Like,
yeah, no, you saved his career.
Oh.
That video, that thing saved his career.
And people pulled that video. The original people who had that video pulled it because they were getting so much heat online. I'm like, fuck that. This thing's going. Fuck her. Whore. I mean, seriously, you're riding jocks and then you tell him that, like, he was inappropriate because you got that. Mm-hmm. Like, bitch, check your video. I mean, look, I don't have a problem when women are really abused. I also don't like it, I don't want to say Johnny Depp style, but if you're going to play that card, you better be correct. You better be correct and not dropping dog shit in my bed. Wow, Amber Heard. How great a fuck must Amber Heard be to be that crazy? I mean, crazier the woman, the better the sex. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to put it out there, guys. Derek Chisora ends his losing streak. I did watch the fight. I think Kubrat got a little jobbed in this, but he was never going to walk away with the decision. Mm-hmm. And based on those scorecards, it could have gone either way. Both of the guys did just enough to be considered the winner or the loser. Did I miss anything in this fight, Miguel? Because Chisora is not a player. Like, he's just meat for one of Tommy Hearn's guys in the future.
Right. He's a body, basically, at this point. He's a warm body that's going to be taken out by somebody else.
This is definitely an old Yeller match. Kubrat's getting the bullet in the back of the head as we speak. Bob had already gotten rid of him. Now you sign over and do what? He did the shit with Triller.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Then he came over here. Oh, and now Tommy Hearns put a bullet in your head. Like, he was always going to give it to his guy. Always.
Yeah, but I mean, it does suck, but Pulev did kind of get, like, worked a little bit here. Like, there were a couple of times, I mean, it was a sloppy-ass fight if you watched it. There was a lot of clinching, and there was a lot of headbutting. Chisora came in with his head down all the fucking time, and there were a couple of times where he came in, and sometimes it did look unintentional, but sometimes it looked a little bit more intentional, and every time that Pulev would get, like, his jaw jacked by his forehead, by Chisora's forehead, he would turn to the ref and was like, what the fuck, did you not just see that? And the referee didn't do jack shit. Basically, the only times that anybody was warned, it was Pulev for, like, hitting the back of the head, which is basically him trying to retaliate, like, hey dude, enough of this fucking headbutting shit. And he threw a couple of shots behind Chisora's head, and that's the only time anybody was ever really warned. So it did suck. I kind of felt bad for Pulev, but Pulev was going to come in here and he was going to get jobbed. We all know this. He had to do something that was going to be spectacular, some sort of knockout, in order for him to come away with the victory, and he wasn't able to do that. The scorecards,
they were all over. Like, they were all over. They all had the same score. They just had different names on them.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, we knew that what's his name, Pulev wasn't going to get a fair shake here. So it ultimately proved us right when the scorecards were read. But I did feel for Pulev here because it was a sloppy ass fight, and he was the one that got warned for all the holding and the punching man head. But dude, Chisora was sloppy as fuck. He came in. I mean, I'm talking about, like, Timothy Bradley type shit, coming in with your head. He would hit Pulev on the side of his head. He hit him on his jaw with his fucking forehead, and it was just an ugly ass sloppy fight. But hey, you know what? Chisora got himself a victory. He ends his losing streak, and he's kind of put himself sort of kind of in a spot to be, an opponent, a B-level dude for somebody else. So good for him. I kind of feel for Pulev, but yeah, it was a sloppy fight. Like if you guys watch the highlights, basically that really was it.
That really was it. It was the only way to watch the fight, and I sadly watched the fight, and then I saw the highlights that they put out on DAZN. Their highlights are perfect. Like, that's the fight I wanted to watch. Like, hey, that's a way to get through all those rounds. Just show me the better punches from each round. Like, I'm down with that. Andrew, did you get a chance to see the new up-and-coming overweight, old, up-and-coming, again, Derek Chisora?
Yeah, Chisora is loved out there in the UK, man. This guy, he is the gatekeeper of the heavyweight division out there. He's fought in literally everyone. He's always been exciting. He does good press conferences. It's not a surprise the way they were treating Pulev on that night. I did notice that too, Miguel, how the ref just was not caring what Pulev was complaining about. So I was not surprised really about anything. The fight was boring to me. They were slugging it out. It was big punches, but I guess there was no motivation for me to really get into the fight because both men have actually been, they've fought for world titles. They've lost. They've been knocked out. I mean, Pulev has been stopped, and he has 3 defeats, and freaking Chisora has a dozen defeats. I mean, yes, the guy fights everyone, but he has a dozen defeats behind that. So it's really hard to get behind fights.
But with this win, Andrew, okay, let's assume Anthony Joshua wins because he usually reinvents himself, and he'll probably...
No, I don't think you get anything like that.
This is a free fight for Anthony Joshua at Wembley.
No, look for someone like Joe Joyce, maybe. Has he fought with his dozen defeats? Has he fought in a Joe Joyce? Look for something like that over in the UK where they can sell out one of their stadiums. I don't think he's coming over the pond, though, to fight in America, any of the heavyweights in Las Vegas or anything like that. Not even Joshua over there. So no, he's been to the top many, many, many times. I'm hoping Chisora has made good money because the man has so many stars on his resume. I'm hoping he made a lot of money during his boxing run, and when his day finally does come where he has to walk away, he's financially stable because it's very sad to take that many defeats by that many stars in the sport and then say, have a GoFundMe page, 10 years later. Bruce Seldon, did anyone notice Bruce Seldon's GoFundMe page this week?
What?
No.
Holy crap, how do I not
Bruce
know
Seldon
of this moment?
Former WBA heavyweight champ, former Olympian, former Tyson rival. Wasn't he like the first guy that hurt Mike when he fought him the first time, not the second fight?
No. That was Bruno. That was Bruno. That was somebody else.
It was Bruno.
Yeah.
No, Seldon fought Tyson though too, correct?
Yes.
He did fight him. Yeah, but it was after. I want to say it was after Tyson came out of prison. It was one of his first few opponents. One of the first belts that Tyson collected. I think it was
the first one because I think I was at that first fight. No, that was Pete McMeet, right? Like the first fight.
Oh yeah, McNeely. That's right.
Pete McMeet was the first one, and then it was Bruce Seldon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he had a GoFundMe page this week. So I'm hoping that Chisora does not end up like this with as many big-time fights that he's been in.
Just remember War Chisora. This segment brought to you by Clenbuterol. I think that's AMC. Brandon Figueroa stops a game. Carlos Castro in the 6th. All right, did we learn anything out of Brandon Figueroa, Miguel, from last week?
Absolutely not. Not a damn thing.
We're still doing this routine with Brandon, right? Like
he moved up in weight. He moved up in weight. He looked fine. He was able to take the guy out. Maybe again, we are talking about a different, quality of opponents, different level of opposition. But more often than not, we see Brandon go 12 full rounds and ends up being a total fucking war. Yes, every so often he will stop an opponent, but I'm kind of glad that he was able to stop this guy. Him himself didn't take any further punishment because after the fight he was ringside. I forgot. I'm sure we'll get to it here momentarily, but the main event that night was in his weight class as well, so he was was looking at some potential, future opponents, of course. So he was ringside watching after his fight, but you can see his face was all marked up from all the punches that he took. I'm glad that the fight didn't go 12 full rounds, but reality, we didn't learn jack shit, at least not anything new from Figueroa, other than the fact that he's, in a new weight class. So new weight class, new opponents, but same old motherfucker.
Andrew, got any love for Brandon Figueroa?
Yes, I do. But Miguel, you were correct. Frank Bruno is the one that fought Tyson twice. He fights Selden one fight after Bruno for the WBA title. But hear me out. He fought McCall. He fought Riddick Bowe. He fought Mike Tyson. Who else do they have on here? Tony Tucker. He fought Tony Tucker for a title, so they were making money that day. Exactly. And he fought Tubbs, I believe, too, is on this list. I can't find him right now, but I believe I've seen Tony Tubbs on here, too. So he had opponents that he made good money on. It's very sad that, a GoFundMe page was made because he's doing hard times right now.
I don't know.
I don't know. Now on to Figueroa, but you were right, Miguel. Just throwing it there. You were right. It was Bruno. Now Figueroa. Listen, I was skeptical about Figueroa in the beginning. The Fulton fight made me a fan. Yes, I agree that he takes way too many punches, all of the above, but he's very exciting. He's young. He only has, I believe, one defeat right now on his record. So I want to see him more. I would actually love to see him and Fulton get in the ring again because I thought that was a very close fight that they did the first time. So I'm a fan of the Brandon Figueroa. Way more. Omar, he was great. He was doing good at the lightweights, but as soon as he signed PBC and went to the welterweight, and I think he's even went junior middleweight, his whole career just went off the rails.
There you go. All right, we're getting closer. Ray Vargas overcomes the knockdown to beat Mark Magsayo to win the WBC title. All right, should I get excited about Ray Vargas, Andrew?
Well, yeah, I mean, 36-0-22. I believe he's a two-time champ now, right, Miguel? He has.
Yes.
He has two WBC titles.
Yeah. I think he was in a smaller weight class prior to this. Yeah.
Yes, I believe so. So yeah, man, two divisional champ, undefeated. This was a matchup between Bernstein and Roach. Bernstein won again. Nacho beat Roach again, I believe. That Masoy, right?
Yes,
the Filipino kid, I think, came in with.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was a nice little classic rival brought back. Even though Bernstein, am I saying his name right, Miguel?
Magsayo.
It's like no. He's talking about Nacho.
Masayo.
No.
I think you dropped the G,
Nacho
wouldn't you?
No. He's talking about Nacho.
Oh, yeah.
Beristain. This is how I thought it was.
Yeah. He looked really old, man. He looked really, really old. So that kind of sucks, but
he looks like he's what's the word? He's like wilting, man. He's like dissolving.
Yeah.
Andrew, I'm looking at Ray Vargas's record. There is nothing on here that is making my dick hard. I got to be honest. There's nobody on this list.
He just won the title, so leave the kid alone. Maybe the list is going to get better now that he's a
really.
champ.
We're going to put credit on the WBC now. I'm sure they would have just made him a belt.
Well, hold up. Let's not forget something. Magsayo took it off of fucking Russell Jr.
No,
so that's kind of a big deal.
Magsayo's the real deal.
He took it off of, you know what I'm saying? So he took it off the dude who's probably the man at 126.
No, he fought to get there. I get that.
Yeah. So he got that. So yeah, granted, maybe it wasn't the belt per se, but it's the fact that he beat the dude who was the dude. So that's kind of
the dude. He was the dude.
Yeah.
And it's very rare when they are actually the dude. They're often like Caleb Plant. Hey, shout out to Caleb Plant. You are as fake as a $3 bill. You got exposed. Canelo's a brilliant guy. Let's move forward. We have much to cover. We only got last week covered. Everybody take a deep breath. Yes, it's one of those shows, people. Just take a deep breath. Spence says if Crawford doesn't fight right now, it will never happen. In an interview. Oh, he's already setting it up. What a douche. He was doing Fight Hub TV. It's closer now than it's ever been, but if it doesn't happen now, it's never going to happen. It's way closer than it used to be. I think it's definitely going to happen. No, you're not. You're already saying that if it doesn't happen, it's not going to happen. Like, dude, this is a double negative almost. Like, this is... I think it's definitely going to happen when you just said in the Let's break this down. I think it's closer now than it's ever been. Okay. I'm into that. Second line, if it doesn't happen now, it's never going to happen. Okay, you're basically telling me, like, if they don't sign it and give you your crazy-ass terms with your weak-ass glass jaw that's been in a car accident and your fake-ass teeth and everything else that's fucking slammed into your head, not to mention, I'm sure you got a concussion from that car accident, so you've definitely got brain damage. It's closer than it used to be. These 3 lines, you could actually change the order. It would work. Watch. It's way closer than it used to be. But if it doesn't happen now, it's never going to happen. But it's closer than it's ever been. See, that's a better order for you, Spence. That's the brain damage from the car accident. And then you put this capper on it. I think it's definitely going to happen. What?
He's questioning his own self.
He's got brain damage. This line.
No, I think he's indecisive. He doesn't know if he wants to take the fight. He really doesn't. Look, I would also say he's drunk. He might be drunk during this interview.
Well, it's completely out of order. This is like a drunk person. Look, you could literally take any one of these. Like, this is almost like the Mad Libs game. You could change the order on this constantly. I think it's definitely going to happen. However, if it doesn't happen now, it's never going to happen. It's closer than it used to, than it's ever been. It's way closer than it used to be. See? They work in any order. I mean, this is literally the greatest 4 lines of quotes. Like, you could interchange these things constantly. And you could add stuff. I'm a blue monkey.
The only thing he didn't do there is go, I think Spence wants to fight.
I think Spence is high on his own cocaine.
I think it'll be a good fight. Yeah, I think it'll be a good fight.
Hey, he's been doing too much. He's been doing ayahuasca, clearly, with Deontay Wilder. He's bought into his hype.
He fucking sounds like Steve Carell's character in The Office when he's like, I knew exactly what I was going to do, but in a much real sense, I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
Like that's pretty much what the fuck he just said in this back and forth. Like, oh yeah, the fight's definitely gonna happen, but if it doesn't happen.
But if it doesn't happen, it's never gonna happen.
If it doesn't happen, fool, you just said it's definitely happening. It's either or.
But sometimes it sounds like whatever administration's in office
Miguel,
too. Sometimes they're answering questions up there on the podium. They're like, "What? What did they just say?"
I think he should just go on the press. Let's say they sign this fight. I think he should just take these 4 lines out on the press tour once they sign the fight, and just keep reusing these 4 lines. Well, it's probably going to happen. I mean, I'm going to go to training camp. It's closer than it's ever been. I'll know when I get to training camp. If it's too hard, then I'll get the AIDS and probably not show up, and then it's definitely not going to happen. Like, he could reuse this indefinitely for this entire fight. This is literally the best 4 lines of stupid I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay, well,
it's closer. It's closer. Andrew, it's closer. But if it doesn't happen, it's not going to happen.
Time.
Andrew, it's way closer than it used to be. And I think it's definitely going to happen. Really? Bro, are you still not being promoted by Al Heyman? I wouldn't say definitely and Al Heyman in the same sentence ever. Holy shit, the man has pulled so many plugs that, like, he should have a bathtub full of bath plugs. He's pulled the plugs on so many fights. Like, his fighters consistently get the AIDS and don't show up.
I believe the 2-yard line is the Crawford deal. You see, Al Heyman does not want this fight to go down without him securing the winner of the fight for future fights, and it's what he's trying to work at with Crawford. It's like it's a very big risk you're taking for Al Heyman. One risk is he's taking both guys' guaranteed money under the PBC banner only. No other affiliated network is going to be putting money into this, promoting this. This is all Heyman, so that's a big risk. The second risk is, do you allow Terrence Crawford to enter that ring with a 1-fight deal, take all the titles, and then become the biggest free agent in the sport of boxing? No, you don't. Mm-mm. So now you need to sit down. You need to ask yourself, what the fuck?
Look, I think you could probably talk him into a 1-fight or a 2-fight promotional deal.
But Lee, hear me out.
All right.
Hear me out. I know he wants to get him into a 2-fight, 3-fight deal. He has to. But here's the question. At what price? Because if Crawford is telling you...
His balls in a little bit of the tip of his dick. I mean, we're talking Al Heyman.
Hey, if he's telling you, look, you got to give me $15 million per fight the next 3 fights, and then he loses this Spence? Crawford didn't have a market before this fucking fight got signed. He's definitely not going to have a market if he loses this fight. So I think that is the big holdup right now is Spence has no issue. Spence is Terrence Crawford is the biggest check Spence is ever going to make. Spence has everybody in his ear right now like, big dog, you need to take this fight. Everybody in the PBC
Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas. The fight that was never going to happen. Two fighters in their prime going at it at Allegiant Stadium. Tickets now for free.
So
it's a PBC event.
So I think that's the 2-yard line. The 2-yard line is what is Al Haymon going to invest into Crawford? You can't overinvest. Listen,
Andrew,
it's a real touchy situation, you guys. Because if he put too much money into into Crawford's contract, guess who's going to be pissed off on his next one?
Wow. I like the whole smell effect. Miguel. Is it definitely going to happen?
They've gone back and forth so many times, I don't even really know at this point. Earlier this morning, I saw a post of Rolando Romero actually going as far as to say, like, yeah, I want Spence next. I'm going to skip 140 and go straight to 147. So it sounds like PBC is damn near already has a backup plan.
It's always money. You fucks are all about money, and I don't blame you. It's a hard sport, but
it's
Jesus
like he's
Christ.
already got PBC already got a backup plan in case this fight with Crawford doesn't go down, which is like, already pissing me off. So like I don't not know what this fight's going to go down. Of course,
it's all about money.
Well, yes. I mean,
I'm predicting right now, Miguel, it's going to be because of Terrence Crawford. If it doesn't happen, it's going to be he would not come off of his price. Yes,
he needs to walk into Al Haymon's office.
The guy,
he needs to learn.
He entered.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, he's got to go in and he's got to do the Al Haymon. Like, there's a movie called The Big Short, which in the real estate world was a big deal. It was, Christian Bale. But there's a scene in the movie where he's trying to talk. One of the guys is trying to talk to the investor. He goes, "I want to know how you're fucking me." Like, that's what you should do with Al Haymon. Just walk in and go, "I just want to know how you're gonna fuck me." Okay, listen.
No,
I'm gonna take the ice cream. I'm gonna take the toppings, and I'm gonna eat the hot fudge. But you're going to get the strawberry and the banana.
No. Terrence Crawford has a history of outpricing himself. That is what Eddie Hearn
joining us on the show.
That is
Top Rank Bob
said it. Eddie Hearn tried to negotiate with Crawford after he left Top Rank. Guess what he said? The guy's unrealistic on the numbers that he's throwing out there. Okay, this is all Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford needs to understand. He was an undefeated, undisputed, pound-for-pound ranked fighter who entered the free fucking market and didn't get a contract. He's trying to work
from anyone.
From anybody.
Not Tommy Hearns, who would have loved to have jammed it down. Oh, my God. Listen how fucked up it is for Crawford. He signed Haney, but he wouldn't sign Crawford. Are you shitting me? Like, those are two different levels of talent. I feel bad for Crawford. Like, he's delusional.
No, I don't feel bad for that motherfucker.
Or at least he knows his value or his skill set.
One bit. Like, he'll have to. I would if he signs a deal with, like, let's just say PBC, right? Take the fucking deal at 2-3 fights or whatever. Have some sort of incentive in it. Like, win the first fight, cool. Second fight, all right, much more money, right? Like, significantly much more than what. Don't go entering the fucking contract like shooting for the moon already. It's like, dude, no, that's gonna be a terrible fucking thing, and we're gonna deprive us fans of the fight that we all want to see. And granted, they really don't give a shit about the fans what the ones want to see anyway. They want to make their money. But it's like, dude, come on, be realistic. Where the shit is his break?
Welcome to the newest segment of the show. Feel free to bet along with the show.
Hey, listen to me.
Crawford
Hold on.
This is a discussion back in his pants and calm the fuck down and take the fight.
No,
Andrew?
This is have any of you guys ever seen Crawford walking around with anybody on his team?
Nobody. He walks around by himself. He's actually a very approachable, nice guy. And both Miguel and I met him, and he's very open.
What do you mean? Wait, I don't get it. What do you mean, Andrew? Like, nobody
he
else
have
on
an
his team.
entourage. He doesn't.
Experience in making these type of deals. Top Rank was his experience. Top Rank has been making deals for stars since the fucking.
It's a single, Andrew. Listen, I let that piece of shit go.
Lee,
because he's a single. He's a single, Andrew. Get it right.
I hear you. But
if I didn't fuck up in court last week negotiating against myself,
I'm hoping
I'd have him back
that Crawford got
Go ahead. I think Crawford needs to put his dick back in his pants. You're a single, bro. I mean, you might have all the skill in the world. This goes back to, what's his name in the Tyson Fury fight, Miguel? Hellenius, the guy that I constantly make fun of. Okay, so you went full-blown free agent. Let me give you some advice. Canelo has his own promotion. Canelo probably could manage his entire career by himself or have people do it for him and make all the money for himself. Where did he go at the end of the day to have his fights promoted? You got to be smarter, kid. You got to be smarter. And Canelo's a bigger name than you. He's with Tommy Hearns.
Miguel, you know how some lawyers will go into court and use past cases to help their case, and judges will approve things because of shit they bring in front of them from the past? Yeah. That's what a sports agent will do when he's negotiating your fucking contract. He has every fucking sports contract that was ever done for an athlete in his favor filed in his head, and he's literally throwing numbers at the fucking promoters all day. You remember this? You remember that? You remember this? Terrence Crawford don't got that file. If he's in there negotiating by himself, he's getting all the hoopla thrown at him, all this bullshit. He's not processing it. And he's fucking throwing out way bigger numbers than he should be. He needs a sports agent. He needs a promoter that's done it before. He needs somebody in there, in that room, helping him out making these contract decisions, because obviously it has not been going good. Terrence Crawford is too much talent to be sitting on the fucking sideline waiting for a 1-fight, 2-fight deal. Way too much talent there. I understand Al Heyman's position, though. Al Heyman's back is really on the wall on this one. This is not PBC's fault. There is a record, a resume with, or a pattern with Terrence Crawford and outnumbering himself on these fights, and I think it's happening again.
That hot take was brought to you by Clenbuterol. Miguel, is he a single? Is Big Bob right? He's a single.
Well,
he's a single. He once got a double, and on one pay-per-view he got a triple. Okay, cool.
I mean, in marketability, yes, and talent, no. Obviously, he's a home run hitter as far as talent goes. But it's just like he really needs to get his head out of the
Babe Ruth of his division at this point.
Yeah,
but nobody's paying money to watch. What's on the side of his head? The big fish. Yeah, bro. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, he really needs to get his head out of the clouds. Like, I get it. The most professional fighters have a certain, career, a certain number of years that they have to like maximize whatever the fight they can. But it has to be within reason. It has to be unfortunately, the bottom line is that the market dictates your value. You can't put a value on yourself. It's up to the market that dictates that. So if nobody fucking goes out there and signs a contract for you saying, oh, these are great numbers, yes, let's go ahead and sign. The argument prior to him leaving Top Rank was, oh, he's on the other side of the street, yada, yada, yada. Well, he's fucking everywhere he wants to be now, and he still can't make a deal done. What does that tell you? That maybe it wasn't Top Rank. Maybe it wasn't Bob Arum. Maybe it was him the whole fucking time, and now we're starting to see the entire, this entire story. So, I mean, at this point...
I thought Tommy Hearns would have snapped him up. I really did. I thought Tommy would toss real money at him. It's just, I mean,
even for all we know, he did, and Crawford's expectations were still even on like higher than that, like unrealistic as all shit. So, I mean, at this point, we're kind of getting the whole story. We're saying, all right, clearly, because up until this point, we were basically blaming PBC and fucking Spence. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't want to make the fight, yada yada yada. But when we start seeing that, Crawford is no longer quote unquote on the other side of the street, and rather he's wherever the fuck he wants to be because he's a free agent, and no one snatched him up.
Miguel.
Clearly,
he's becoming irrelevant. Like, he's slowly erasing himself.
He has a belt. He has a belt. So he's undefeated. Everybody still wants to see him fight him. So no, I want to say he's irrelevant. But the fight itself could be becoming irrelevant. It's very big. It's becoming, Pacquiao and Mayweather. By the time it happened, we wanted to see it in 2009, 2010. It happened in 2015. By that point, it kind of was. I mean, yes, it did sell a lot of pay-per-views, but we get the point. For us fans, by this point, we're already done with it. Same thing with this one. We're headed in that direction, which kind of blows. So Crawford himself being irrelevant, no, but the fight is getting there.
There you go.
And Miguel, I would piggyback off what you just said. In that Pacquiao-Mayweather matchup, 2015, the diehards already knew who was going to win that fight.
Oh, yeah.
In 2009, nobody knew who was going to win that fight. That's the big difference between the fight. I think it's December 2009 is when Manny Pacquiao knocks out Miguel Cotto in the 12th round. After that fight, that's when the Mayweather fight should have been made. Manny had been, that was the highest, point he was in his career. He looked, everyone was calling him Duran at that moment. Mayweather should have fought him there. He didn't. So while they still did great numbers, I think most of the boxing media went into that fight with, Mayweather's going to beat him.
There you go. Hey, here's a quick middle of the road, right in the middle of the show, gratuitously crowbarred. Go to boxingtonight.io. There you go. We actually have a news feed. We have videos. We have audio. We have the fight schedule. We have jump-off links so you can listen to the show or even watch the show on video. Hey, that's a thing. We always put it on our Facebook page. We actually made good video this week, and I don't look like walking death these days, so it's all a plus. This next segment is brought to you by Clenbuterol. Caleb Plant, I'm right here. I'm at a greater level now. Now I'm an all-time great. What are you smoking, bro? What are you smoking? Is everybody doing ayahuasca after they get their asses kicked? And you just go delusionally looking at gray men and like I'm right there at the all-time great level. But I got clipped by a shot. One. Oh, you think it was one? He got clipped in a late shot by Alvarez. Now we're just looking to move on to what's next. You mean without a belt? Like you're irrelevant at this moment. I don't even know if Papa Al is going to book a fight for you, dude. You were just a white dude. I don't want just an easy no-name. Yeah, you do. Let me give you some personal advice. Yeah, you do. In fact, you should take about 10 or 20 no-names and build up your record so that we all forget that you got beat the fuck up by Canelo. Yeah, like Kate Abdo, like the good fight with Kate, like, what is that the name of the show that he was on? Because I'm pretty sure he didn't fight Kate Abdo. That would be really not cool. Yeah, he said on her show. Former super middleweight champion with an inflated record and a shitty-ass IBF belt that might be below the WBO in credibility these days. So I start with you, Miguel. Caleb Plant, I'm right there. I'm one of the all-time great. Like, I'm there, dude. Like, he's definitely done ayahuasca. This is Deontay Wilder crazy.
It is. I mean, I don't know how he would think that coming off a loss, but... and again,
and it wasn't a close loss. It's not like, I just got caught by a Deontay Wilder type punch that put me down and like I lost the fight. Dude, you were never in that fight. At no point.
At the beginning, he kind of was. I mean, at the beginning, he kind of was. I mean, but it was mainly because Canelo hadn't, revved it up yet. Primarily is what it was. But nonetheless, I don't. Yes, there's no shame in losing to the number one pound for pound dude. It's not like the loss came, to some no name, obviously,
well,
right?
If your follow-up is I'm one of the all-time. I'm at the all-time great level.
Right. Yeah. That's
you fought the all-time great, bro, and it wasn't close. It was. I mean, it's not like I watched that fight and went, oh no, there's like moments of brilliance out of Caleb there. Like this kid's got a bright future at 20-0. No. You fought an elite fighter. You're not an all-time great level. You're not there. You're not even like there's nobody on your record that demonstrates that.
Right. The resume speaks for itself. You have to fight more guys like that. I mean, hell, I don't. It's cool that he's like, I don't want some no name. I'm like, all right, fantastic. Now, whether or not that's to your benefit or not, that's another story. That remains to be seen. But the fact that he's coming out with his attitude of saying like, I don't want to fight no names, like, okay, cool, I'm down with that shit. I would love to see him fight some of the other dudes. Let's give him, right now, the whichever Durrell, I forget whichever Durrell brother is.
Are they twins too? Who cares? Yeah, pick one.
No, they're not twins, but pick one. Exactly. They're sort of kind of names, they're still they're at the weight class. Fuck it. Do it. I'm down with that one. If you need a guy who isn't necessarily a no name, but
a fat Broner fight would be great.
Jesus Christ. Well, give him Figueroa while we're at it. Fuck it.
Why not?
Have him move up to 168 while we're at it. But I mean, I like the fact that he's going to fight or that he wants to fight one of those guys. Why he hasn't fought one of them already is beyond me.
I know.
He fought back in November, and looking at his record, like he has this habit of the last couple of years of like fighting once a year. Once in 2000, 2020, once in 2021, or twice in 2022, 2021, but like 10 months apart. It's like, bro, you got yourself a great payday, fantastic. You lost your belt, fantastic. You kind of have to start from the bottom again, like fight some of these other motherfuckers.
Back of the line.
Exactly.
Dana White style. Go to the back of the line. Fight your way back up here.
Yeah. But nonetheless, I like the attitude. I like the fact that he wants to get in there and mix it up. Whether or not it actually happens remains to be seen, of course. But I mean, this shit about like all-time great, like, bro, come on, like you must been smoking or
no,
drinking.
it's ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
Well, no, here's what it is.
Man,
he fought Canelo, and he got to play in the big leagues. He got to see the shiny white baseball balls and brand new bats and new uniform. Like he went to the show.
Walkout.
He went to the show for real.
Yeah.
And he's got a taste for it. That is not the dude that you and I sat and interviewed. He was a humble kid who knew he had to fight his way up with a very strong family background. He knew his place. Now he's gotten that Canelo injection in his ass. It's like, this is where I am. Dude, you weren't even close. Like, can you imagine that discussion in the back? Like, well, was I in the fight? No. No,
we knew that when he tried talking to Canelo during the middle of a round.
That's why Canelo took you.
It wasn't even... The fight wasn't even considered a fight of the year candidate. So there's a bunch of reasons why this statement's bullshit. And honestly, we've went way past the time we should have on talking about Caleb Plant. We need to move on.
Well, we are going to move on. But, Andrew, we need to bring back one of my favorite game shows. Will he knock out Lee? All right, I'm in a beer line with Caleb. Hey, remember the time I interviewed you when you were a humble bro? And, like, bump into him and spill his beer? Well, look, dude, you're being generally an asshole right now, and you are not at an all-time great level. He turns. Beer in his right hand. He's going to throw the left, Andrew. That's important. His money shot is the right. Left hand. Andrew, does he knock me out?
Lee, I think he hits you, doesn't knock you out. How about that?
Does he spill his beer?
No. He's got sweet hand. Bro, his name is Sweet Hand. It is.
Miguel.
With 12 knockouts out of 22 fights.
Oh, jeez. Against nobody, I might add.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say no. He doesn't knock you out. Maybe gives you a slight nosebleed with his pillow hands. And you know what? He's got pretty good balance. I'm gonna say he does not spill his beer.
Wow. Congratulations if you were playing along at home. It's one of our favorite game shows. Bivol versus Gilberto Ramirez, and Oscar De La Hoya's hard dick just went soft. Ordered by the WBA. All right, Ramirez, time to go to the big show. You got your WBA shot, and they're going to make this happen, and it's ordered, and I don't think Bivol's going to want to drop his belt, so he'll probably just take the fight. Miguel, number one, good scrap. Number two, does Ramirez have anything to be on the level of Bivol?
Okay, so number one, yes, he does take the scrap, and it's going to be a good one. Yes, you best believe it's going to be a good one. It's about damn time. We've been asking for this one for a hot minute already. So, yes, the fight is going to go down, which from what the WBA is saying, of course. I think it's going to be a great fucking scrap. I think Ramirez is going to go in there against a top dog at 175, and really, we're really going to see that motherfucker tested, like, big time. And Bivol, this is one of those fights where, I was looking at Bivol's last fight with Canelo, like, he was able to basically, it wasn't hard, right? Right. And to some degree, we're like, why didn't Bivol push it even harder, to see where the fuck, how far he can go. But, he didn't exactly look like a monster by any stretch. And Gilberto Ramirez kind of does sometimes, when fighting his most recent fights at 175. So it's like, okay, we kind of like, this is one of the things I love about the sport. It's like, shit, I don't know who the fuck's going to win this one. I'm going to be rooting for Ramirez, of course, but hell yeah, I don't know who the fuck's going to win this one. This is going to be a killer-ass fight. It could be, Zurdo could be the Usyk of the fucking light, the light heavyweights here. He's going to be the monkey wrench. He could totally throw, a monkey wrench into the plans of a Bivol and a Canelo rematch. It's a risky one. It really legitimately is a risky one. I would not be surprised if he does actually spoil the plans. So I'm looking forward to this one. I forgot what the second question was. What was the second question?
That hot take was brought to you by Clenbuterol. Yeah, you got it right. You got everything in there.
All right.
Andrew, are you into it?
Yeah, definitely into this fight. Look, he can be a savior for Canelo, really. If he gets this fight before Saul Alvarez, he can block Alvarez's what would be his next defeat. So I like this fight a lot. If I was De La Hoya, I would be trying to think about the future and already kind of picking at Canelo in the media by saying,
Listen, I'm over him, bro. I'm over him.
No, but we're talking about money. We're talking about money.
Bro,
and Ramirez is trying to get the biggest fights out there.
I got a new
There's
girlfriend.
money to be made in that fight. So if I was De La Hoya, I would already be working that angle. I know he's not, but it's there. There's an angle there. I like this fight a lot. Ramirez deserves it.
Press conferences would be the
oh
shit.
My God.
Andrew.
We're really talking.
Holy crap! That literally, if they could make that shit happen, I would go to every press conference. Could you imagine just standing by Oscar with all the different media people and him just dropping crazy Canelo shit constantly during that press conference run? No, I was over him a long time ago. I mean, yeah, I was already seeing Ramirez on the side. You know, I didn't have to suck his dick quite as hard as I had to suck Canelo's all the time. And then he did that crazy shit with the clenbuterol. Listen, bro. He has got to get over Canelo. Like, that is like the thorn in his side, and Ramirez is that representation. If Ramirez strips that belt off of Bivol, holy crap. Oscar's...
And he can call out fucking Canelo at the same time. Be like, that's right. Like, if you want to move
bitch, get in the ring. Like, I would drop the mic.
Yes, big time. Like, yep, I just blocked your fucking, your way to a rematch with Bivol. I got the belt. Now, whether or not Canelo actually proceeds with that, rematch anyway, it should Gilberto Ramirez win is another story, of course. But, like, damn, him holding the belt in the ring after he beats Bivol, if that happens, and he's like, look, Canelo, I got the belt now. Now you can't fucking touch me.
That would be the strongest thing I've ever seen on TV, would be him, like, win the match, not just win, knock Bivol out, then stand there with the strap over your shoulder, take the DAZN microphone. Well, it'll be DAZN. So take the DAZN microphone and, like, literally, listen, Canelo, I got the belt, bitch. Come get some. And then drop the mic. And I wouldn't say another word and let that one float out there. It would literally go viral. There's Oscar, call me. I actually know your PR person. We went to school together, but call me and I'll hook you up. Listen, bro, I don't like the way you talk about my fighters. Okay. Andrew, Tim Zoo, what, Zoo Horn, Zoo Charlo, Zoo what? All right, so.
What?
Yeah, Nikita Zoo.
Who cares? No one cares about this Zoo. This is Omar Chavez. No one cares. So
listen,
if we ain't talking about Tim Zoo, then I'm not talking about all of Zoo's kids fighting.
We have an Australian producer, and I'm required by law to do at least 3 Australian fighter stories every week. I'm not going to even be close. I got 2 this week, and I knew I was only going to give Nikita this long. But let's jump to Tim, shall we? Tim got Charlo. Ooh. Boy's got a set of balls on him. You are just like Dad. Now I'm starting to think, Andrew, he's just like Dad. That's a big set of balls. You're going to the big leagues. They called you up.
I don't
Bring
know
in
how
the righty.
I don't know how it happened. I don't know how Zoo got ranked by all 4 belts this fast in his career with absolutely no wins under his belt, but I guess it did. Money. So Charlo's literally gets to hold these belts until 2023 because he signed a fucking fight. Mm-hmm. To me, that sounds absurd. I don't even know if this fight is going to take place, you guys. That's why I texted you guys right away when I seen it. 2020. When the fuck have we ever heard, yes, fight announced next year? What?
Yeah, coming soon. Coming soon.
Coming soon. 6 months from now, they might fight. They might. And I throw might in there because anything could happen in a half a fucking year.
No, this falls into that category of, I was thinking I should fight Tim Zoo. Hey, you know what, Tim? I was sitting here in my chair thinking I should fight you. Probably not going to happen, but since I can do a press release that says I'm thinking about fighting this person. Like, what the fuck is going on, people? Just drop a contract. I hope it's real,
Are they
Andrew.
taking, like, my thing is, are they taking fights in between this fight? Is Zoo really not going to get another test? He's going from fucking getting knocked down by
from
Joe
0 to hero, kids. Right
into fighting the undisputed champ of the world, who's knocked out every champ. What is it? Every time he's defended or fought for a title,
I'm a Charlo convert based on his last fight.
Every time he collected a belt, he'd knock the fucker out. Yeah,
that's into Charlo. I thought I would never say that with a straight face, but that last fight, dude, Like, that's a serious fighter.
Yeah, no, Jermell has proven himself. Jermell deserves Jermell deserves one. He deserves this fight because I fucking told Tim on air. I know he didn't hear it. I know Sam didn't get him the damn message like I told him to. But we told him not to do this, and if he does do it, Jermell has all the right to take the fight. Well, he took it. Hey, it's a big payday. You keep fucking calling him out. He's not calling you out. Well, hey, they granted him to hold the belts for 6 months. Let's do it.
Yeah, why not? Let's all go to camp and let's get all geeked up. Hey, guess what? Luis Ortiz is still eager to fight. He be thinking, I want to fight Deontay another, I don't know, 3, 5, or 10 times. That segment brought to you by Alzheimer's. Dude, you've already been hit in the head too many times. Like, you're losing your shit. Or, like, you're fucking nuts. Like, you are clearly too old to be in the sport. I don't know what... I don't... Andrew, am I crazy that this dude is like... Did he go on the ayahuasca trip too? Am I missing out on this?
No, he's just trying to collect checks from the PBC. He got into Al Heyman's donations of checks when this thing first started, and
does
that's
he hold his green card or something? I mean, this is
I
almost
think
like
I think a lot of these fighters from the state they wish they could go back to the good old get $1 million to fight Joe Blow on the PBC channel. They want no part of anything else. I think that's all Ortiz is looking for. He gets on undercards. Right now, I don't know what the money he makes. But before, it used to be good money. These guys are making
money,
good...
and they had a stage and pyro. Yeah. Oh, it was fun in the first years.
Yep. So yeah, I would stick around too, as long as you're getting fed $1 million to fight fucking Christian Hammer, third fight from the main event.
Miguel, how much crack is in Luis Ortiz's body?
Well, he is Cuban, so I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with how many lines he snorts before fights, but I mean, Jesus Christ, it's I don't know what the fuck he's thinking, saying. I mean, I'm sure he's just exaggerating, but goddamn, it's like, let it go, man. He whooped ass twice. Let it go, son.
He knocked him out.
Yeah, exactly. And granted, he did do better in that second fight. You know, well, I don't say better, but like, you know, he had Wilder hurt in that first fight. He didn't have him hurt at all, but he was schooling him in that fucking second fight. But the great equalizer, he can't seem to get away from that goddamn right hand.
Nobody can. Everybody who's fought Deontay has to take that punch. Look, as much as we want to shit on Deontay, every opponent he's faced, including Tyson Fury, has felt that right legit and its speed.
Yes, and Fury was the only person who can come back from it. You know what I'm saying? And clearly Ortiz can't. Much less now at this age, dude. Like, any one of these shots can be like basically the end of your goddamn career. So I mean, yes, I get it. You probably want a couple of more of these big or major paydays. Fine, but it's gonna come at the cost of your goddamn brain cells. Like, let's just leave it at that. Let it go. He whooped your ass twice. He took your ass out twice, and we'll call it a day. We don't need 3, 5, or 10 fights to know that.
There you go.